All right, moving on to example 2. Jesse and Samantha compared how many movies they watched per month for a year. The two dot plots show each set of data. We're going to compare them and describe the differences we see. Note that the graph is showing the number of movies watched, not how many movies they watched each month. So month 2 does not represent February, but how many movies were watched. How many months that 2 movies were watched in a month. So if we look at Jesse's plot on the left here, we can see that he had a month where he watched 0 movies. He had 4 months where he watched 1 movie. He had 3 months where he watched 2 movies, 1 where he watched 4, 1 where he watched 7, 1 where he watched 10 movies, and 1 where he watched 11 movies. Samantha, on the other hand, had 1 month where she watched 2 movies, 2 months where she watched 3 movies, 3 where she watched 4, 3 when she watched 5, 2 when she watched 6 movies, and 1 month when she watched 7 movies. So let's describe our differences here. Jesse's plot is a lot more spread out than Samantha's. Look at that. He goes from 0 all the way up to 11. He has a lot more low value, so he had much more months where he only watched 1 or 2 movies. But he also has some very high values. So there were a couple of months where he watched 10 or 11 movies. Samantha's is symmetrical and very well grouped, very tightly grouped. She always watched a movie. She didn't have any months where she only watched 1 or 0 movies, but she also never watched more than 7 movies in a month. Let's find the measures of center for both Jesse and Samantha and see how they compare. Jesse's mode is 1. There were 4 months when he only watched 1 movie. His median, that's the one in the middle, so there's 12 dots because there's 12 months. So if we count 6 to the left and 6 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we end up here over the 2. So our median here is 2. And his mean, if we add them all up and divide by 12, that'd be 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus 11. And then divide by the number of dots, which is 12, we end up with 3.5. Okay, those are his measures of center. Let's talk Samantha's. Samantha's mode is both 4 and 5 because she had 3 months where she watched 4 movies and 3 months where she watched 5 movies. Her median is the one in the middle, is 4.5 because there's 12, and if we count 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to be right here in the middle between 4 and 5. And her mean is also 4.5. It's very interesting. So her measures of center are pretty much all the same. Her mode, 4.5, 4 and 5, 4 and 5, bookend her median and her mean, which are both right in the middle of 4 and 5. So her measures of center are exactly in the center, whereas Jesse's, his mode is down here at the bottom, his median is 2, and his mean is right here in the middle. You see that there. Jesse's measures of center are also all lower than Samantha's, and that's probably because he has more data points down here in the lower regions, and hers are all higher. Let's find the range of each data set. Range, take the maximum, subtract the minimum. In Jesse's case, 11 minus 0 is 11, so he has a range of 11. Whereas Samantha, highest is 7, lowest is 2, 7 minus 2 is 5. Her range is 5, and we find this from what we can see in the graph. Jesse's values are much more spread out. Samantha's are much more condensed. Which person is likely to watch more than 4 movies in a month, and which is more likely to watch more than 7 in a month? Okay, let's ask the first question. Which person is more likely to watch more than 4? Okay, more than 4. So that's here, 4 here, and 4 here. Which person, based on this data, is more likely to watch more than 4? If your guess Samantha, you are correct. She is more likely to watch more than 4 movies in a month. She did this 6 out of the 12 months, so more than 4 is 5, 6, or 7 here, and she did that 6 times. 6 times she watched more than 4 movies in 1 month, whereas Jessie, who watched more than 4 movies, only 3 times. So Samantha is more likely to watch more than 4 movies. Who's more likely to watch more than 7 movies in 1 month? Well, 7 movies here, 7 movies here. In this case, it's Jessie. He is much more likely to watch more than 7 movies in a month because Samantha never did. She never did. He did it twice. I say twice and not 3 times because it says more than, not 7 or more. More than 7 does not include 7. There is an assignment on Google Classroom for you to do, and if you need help with anything, please contact either myself or Mrs. Fraser. Also watch the other videos that Mrs. Fraser posts where you can see her doing these problems in person.